This is the fifth and last video in this set of videos for the 4-7 guided notes. This is something we haven't really talked about before, and the screen's cut off a little bit here. Let me see if I can fix it. So this idea of a Hoyvox, it's kind of a silly little mnemonic device, but it's to help us remember the relationship between horizontal and vertical lines and the equations that go with them. So first off, Hoy, H is for horizontal, and V over here is for vertical. This O is for zero slope, as in 0 instead of O, and this U is for undefined slope. The Y here is for the equation Y equals C, as in Y equals a constant. So examples would be Y equals 0, Y equals 3, Y equals -5. Those are all examples of linear equations whose graphs are horizontal lines and therefore have a slope of 0. This would be for x equals a constant. So examples would be x is 0, x is -1, x is 100. Those are all examples of linear equations whose graphs are vertical lines and therefore have undefined slopes. So you'll see this happen when you have only an x or a y in your equation, but not both of them. So you can do all sorts of really, complicated algebra to make this work, to write an equation of this, but we're going to do this without even using point slope form, because if I know the slope is 0, the first thing I should be thinking of is, okay, a 0 slope is going to be in the form y equals a constant. So if it contains the point 9, 4, what we really care about is the height in relationship to the x or y axis of this line. So it's going to be horizontal line, which is in the form y equals. So all I need to do is look at the y coordinate here, which is 4. So the equation of this line is y equals 4. Over here I have something similar but a little different. M is undefined. The slope's undefined, which means that I can't actually use it in slope-intercept form or point slope form because there isn't one. So again, the sort of more, I would say maybe the better way to look at this is to think about, okay, undefined slope is going to be in the form x equals a constant. So that means that the y value here is irrelevant. What I care about is the x value. The equation here is x is -3. Because the graph here is going to be a vertical line. So if it goes through the point -3, 5, it also goes through the point -3, 7, and -3, 10. So the y value is irrelevant. What we care about is the x value, which is -3. And then you should try these last two on your own. And again, what we care about is, if you notice here, the x values are the same. The y values are different, but the x values are the same. If you use slope formula, think about what your slope's going to look like and how that relates. You can also just bypass this and say, oh, x is 6. This has to be a line because we're graphing linear equations. So if I were to graph the points 6, 1 and 6, -5, they're going to lie vertically on top of each other. And that means that the equation is of a vertical line, which is in the form x equals a constant, this time 6. So try this last one for homework.